Yeah, you. Are you new to government contracting and you've been pursuing service-based contracts via SAM.gov, where you put in countless hours of assembling your team, putting together your responses to those RFPs, only to find out you didn't win, and you're feeling that the system may be slightly rigged against you, and you're just chasing your tail? Well, hey, don't give up. There is a better option, and it's called selling products to the Defense Logistics Agency, better known as the DLA. Hey, I'm the DLA guru, and I've been in this space for the past 20 years, and I've put together a fantastic YouTube channel that's packed with information and hacks to give you some insight on how to position yourself to sell to the DLA. Take a look at my channel and subscribe today. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. The DLA guru is back in the building. Back in the building, yes, indeed. A little late this morning, starting the live stream. As you guys know, I tried to start my live streams at 11 o'clock a.m. sharp, but Murphy's Law prevailed this morning. I had some issues with installing updates at the last minute into the computer when I refreshed it, because I'm figuring out that I have to refresh or restart, I should say, my computer in order to make sure StreamYard is working correctly, because I've seen some of the videos in the past where I've gone live and the audio and the video are not in sync. And so I think that the fix is just to restart the computer right before the live stream. And lo and behold, I had some Microsoft updates. So my apologies for all of those who were waiting on the DLA guru to hit these DLA streets here in YouTube, in the world of YouTube. So thank you for your patience and waiting for me to enter the stage. Yes, I am here in full effect. Yes, indeed. And I am feeling super fantastic, even though it's pretty rainy here. I'm hailing from St. Louis, Missouri. You know, April showers bring May flowers. We're in May, no flowers, still showers. But, you know, I think that's kind of what's going on around the country right now. So it's kind of a dark and gloomy and kind of cold morning here in St. Louis, Missouri. But hey, the DLA guru is here in full effect. So thank you for showing up. Looks like we have four concurrent viewers in the building, and really appreciate you guys for tuning in and tapping in with yours truly. And guess what? Today is my scheduled bi-monthly live stream for my Brigadier Generals and my Patreon community. Yes, today is your day. We're going to be camming up and micing up closed circuit over here in StreamYard, as we always do. And we're going to be talking anything and everything related to the DLA. We're going to be talking about DLA solicitations, DLA national stock numbers. We're going to be talking about DLA concepts and vendor training. We're going to be talking about strategy, you name it. And everything is going to be surrounding, yes, where I have a lot of passion in custom manufacturing and figuring out how you guys can position yourself to be successful and carving a lane with the DLA, where there is a tremendous need for vendors to connect with manufacturers, right? The DLA, they put out the memo. The Department of Defense has put out the memo. There's been a degradation in the industrial base. And hey, guess what? We, as the DLA vendor community, it is our mantra. It is our goal. It is our duty to find ways to support the warfighter by custom manufacturing. So that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today. As you guys have seen the thumbnail and also the title of today's live stream, we're going to be talking about how do you position yourself to be successful. And guess what? Today's topic is about consistency. So I got a few items that I want to talk about with the general public. Yes, we're going to be having, it's probably about a 30-minute or so presentation that I have for just the subscriber base at large, just the public community. And then we're going to go on live. We're going to go closed circuit live, and then we're going to be talking about some pretty cool things that I like to talk about with my members only community. So we're going to get into that today in today's slide. But as you guys know, before getting into today's presentation, everything I got, action packed for you, I'd like to start off the prayer of Jabez. Yes, the prayer of Jabez. If you guys have been watching my content of these past few weeks, I've kind of thought, I think it's good to be grounded and to kind of start anything that you're doing and having a spiritual focus and making sure that you're aligned with all the madness that's going out here in the world today. And the prayer of Jabez, if you guys are not familiar with it, it's a fantastic prayer that means a lot to me. And it goes something like this: oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, that you would keep me from evil, that I may not be caused pain. All right. So it's really simple prayer, something I think that you guys should definitely commit to memory. Prayer entered my life when I was around 23 years old, and it's just been, it's been pretty cool. It helps to keep me grounded, and I've had a pretty interesting life, a lot of successes, a lot of things have gone well for me. And for Jabez, the character in the Bible in the Old Testament, he prayed this prayer every single day, and he had a fantastic life, fantastic health, fantastic family, fantastic finances, all the good stuff. And it's one of the most complete prayers next to the Lord's Prayer in the Bible. So the prayer of Jabez, check it out. You can Google it. Prayer Jabez, just Google it, and it'll tell you a little bit more about it. And just like to open it up that way. So thank you for your ear on that. But you are here today to talk about the DLA. You're like, yeah, Lord's Prayer is kind of cool. DLA Guru, you're late today. Get to the reason why we're in the building today. And of course, today we're going to be talking about consistency. Consistency is kind of part of a mindset in a way as you're looking to get involved with government contracting. And, there's you're going to get a lot of no's. There's a lot of no's, a lot of doors shut in your face. You're reaching out, you're getting those market research surveys coming in, and you're responding to different contracting officers, not even just within the DLA, but just the federal government at large. And you're like, okay, cool. They reached out to me for a market research survey. I responded. I'm responding to those sources sought opportunities, and I'm just sitting here waiting. And guess what? Nothing happens, right? And so that's just part of federal contracting. There's going to be a lot of opportunity, but you just got to be able to show up consistently in order to benefit when the government does come a calling. So it's all about consistency and positioning. All right. So that's what we're going to be focusing a little bit in today's discussion. And of course, yes, I believe that it is the number one key to success with government contracting with the Defense Logistics Agency. All right. So keep in mind, guys, for those of you who are new, because I get a lot of new viewers coming in, chiming in to my channel. People are like, DLA, all these acronyms, federal government is overrun with acronyms. Well, the DLA stands for the Defense Logistics Agency. All right. They're one of the largest logistics support agencies for the Department of Defense, which is what? The largest federal customer. So if you guys have done any research and trying to figure out what contracting arena or which federal customer to better align your business with, the DoD spends the lion's share of the federal budget. So I always say, hey, you know what? You want to align with the big fish in the big fish in the pond. You want to catch the big fish because you can eat for a long time if you catch a big fish. So the DLA is just one, in my opinion, it's a stair step. It's a kind of a way that you can position yourself to support this agency that supports. Their focus is primarily in supporting of the Department of Defense. That is our warfighters. All right. The DLA. So that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today. But of course, government contracting in general, I think a lot of these concepts apply to just the government contracting as a whole. And in our world, in our space, government contracting, the acronym is GovCon. All right. So for those of you who are new and trying to kind of understand what these acronyms are, that's kind of what that is. And as I mentioned in my opening of this presentation today, we're going to be talking to my members only today. And guess what, members, all my Brigadier Generals and Patreon members, and as you guys are entering into this live stream, feel free to drop in the chat to let me know that you're in the building. And for all of my newcomers to the Brigadier General community, you can find the link that's just for you in the community forum tab over here on YouTube. You click that link, community forum tab, all the messages there. And there is a link just for your eyes and your finger clicks to click that link, and it'll bring you right here into my waiting room here in StreamYard. It looks like we got one Brigadier General in the building right now. So for all my newcomers, that's where you'll find the link. And for those of you who are new to my Patreon community, the same applies to you. Go into the community forum tab on Patreon. You'll find a link just for you that'll bring you over here into our illustrious waiting room in StreamYard. All right. And today's topic, just for my members only, for those of you who are on the fence, that may not have upgraded your subscriptions to my members only content, we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into how to file a protest, a DLA award protest. A lot of times you're bidding on these contracts and you're thinking that you had the low price and you're not winning. And then you click the link because the DLA is pretty awesome. Anytime you bid on the DLA solicitation, when they award, they will send you an email to tell you you didn't win, and they will also tell you who won. They will literally send you a link where you can download the actual DLA award. And when you're fact checking those awards that you didn't win, sometimes you may run across one where you may have had the lower price. And so you got to, say, hey, wait a minute, why did you pass me up? Why didn't I get that contract? Well, I'm going to teach you guys today, all my members, we're going to do a deep dive in how you file a DLA award protest so that you can get some eyes and ears and get more information as to why you didn't win versus just getting that email that says you didn't win. All right. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So if you're interested in learning a little bit about that process, I highly recommend pinned in the chat. You'll see a link that will give you access to upgrade your free subscription to the members only subscription, because in the YouTube University, I'm giving you guys a lot of nuggets to kind of motivate you, to empower and inspire you for success with the DLA. But hey, for those of you who really, really want to get the know-how on how to be successful with the DLA, you got to join me in the membership community. I'm always adding value. That's where we're going to be talking about that today. But for those of you who are new to me and new to my content, my name is Keevy Hendricks. I am the U.S. Government Sales Manager with the National Material Supply Company. Yes, the National Material Supply Company. We have been servicing the U.S. military through federal contracting by way of the DLA for the past 20 plus years. And I've coined the name the DLA Guru. Don't let the gray fool you. But I've skinned my knee and bumped my head enough, and I've had plenty of successes in order to coin the name the DLA Guru. So I'm not being vain. It's just that, hey, I've been around. I got the experience to kind of, support that alias or the call sign, the DLA Guru. So hey guys, I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Welcome. And if you while during my live stream today, if you have any questions, comments, or anything that's kind of keeping you up at night for my general population of subscribers, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'll be fielding any and all types of questions within reason throughout my presentation today. So feel free to do that. And in order to leave a comment, yes, you must be a subscriber to the channel. Fortunately, you got to give me a little bit, and I'll give you a lot in return. So just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it means a ton to me. I think we're 15 subscribers away from my goal of what? 3,000 subscribers. I'm going to do a round of applause. We're so close. So I really want to appreciate all the different members out there, or the subscribers, you say, that are out there that are hitting that subscribe button, because it means a ton to me, and it helps to basically let YouTube know that the DLA Guru is cooking. And so they're going to be pushing my message out to a broader audience that just only helps to get the message out about the DLA, and it doesn't cost you anything, right? And you want to hit the like button, especially if you're liking today's live stream. Looks like we got 7 concurrent viewers and 2 likes. Hey, get the likes up, and feel free to share this video feed to anybody that you know, friends, family, business colleagues, to let them know a little bit about what this brother is doing here in the YouTube streets, because again, it's all about getting the message out to a broader audience. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because you don't want to be day late or dollar short as I drop relevant content to empower and inspire you for success with the DLA. All right, cool. Now, before we get into today's consistency training, I also want to let you guys know, because the DLA Guru, I'm all about value. And as you're winning those DLA awards out there, you guys know the thing that you got to be compliant. You got to be compliant with the DLA. And the way you're compliant, that you got to bag and tag all those products that you are shipping to the DLA. It is a requirement, a 100% requirement. And so what we do, adding value, I offer pre-printed mill standard 129 unit ID labels. Every single contract that you'll get is going to require a label like what you see on screen there. All right. This label is literally like a barcode. It gives a lot of information about the contract, what that material is. And when the DLA receives it, they need to have that barcode so they can scan it into inventory, and they can scan it out of inventory, and they'll know kind of what's inside of their supply chain. It's attuned to, like, if you go to any retail store. Think about the DLA as like a Home Depot on crack, right? The DLA has millions of products that they have on their shelves and their depots globally. And they basically are just a way where the warfighter can say, hey, you know what? I'll take 5 of those and 2 of those and 3 of those. And they have to scan those barcodes. So this is very important that you guys have those barcodes. And guess what? Sometimes people are getting these contracts where you have 500 items on your contract, and you're like, man, I need 500 labels. Where the hell am I going to get those labels? Guess what? The DLA Guru we're partnering with our friends over at HECdistribution.com, and I'm going to just do a quick little review of what it looks like over in that website space there. But if you log on to hecdistribution.com, you'll land on the landing page here where you'll find the labels. All right, looks like the labels, but actually I got to click here. Let me click into the actual product itself, but you can see that right now, the suggested retail price is about 45 cents a label, and we're offering them for 15 cents a label. Yes, adding value to your contract awards, right? And the way that you'll do the way you can order the labels, there's a 5-step process that you can see on screen, pretty self-explanatory, that you just follow those steps. And all you do is just take your contract and you just transcribe information straight from your contract into these fields that you see on the screen here. Just populate all these different fields, let them know how many labels you'll need, add it to the cart, hit that checkout, and you're on to the races, and you'll have your labels shipped to a doorstep near you, working with our friends over at hecdistribution.com. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of those fantastic labels. They're made within spec. They come on a polypropylene label, and they have the right ink that doesn't fade in the sun and it doesn't smear in wet conditions. It's the perfect mill standard 129 unit ID label that will make sure you're in full compliance with what the DLA is requiring for you when you're delivering products to their depots globally. All right, so that's what is going on with the DLA Guru and all the value that I'm adding. And it's a bunch of folks that are taking advantage of purchasing those labels. So I thank you for all the customers that are out there that are taking advantage of getting those labels and support your contract. We love to see those orders come through. And it's like, wow, people are winning contracts and they're taking advantage of the value that we're adding into the DLA contracting community. So thank you for all the current customers that are out there. All right, cool. Now, we're going to get into today's topic. We're talking about consistency, mindset, how to be successful. It's the number one key to success with doing business with the DLA. One thing, consistency builds trust. All right. So that's the first thing you want to kind of think about. And what I mean by that is the DLA rewards contractors who meet specs. Again, mill standard 129 unit ID labels, the bagging and tagging. There's also mill spec 2073 1E, where you got to have the right packaging materials and all that good stuff. So long as you're not getting those quality notifications, and every now and then you may fall and skin your knee and you may forget this or forget that, but the better that you're consistent with delivering on the expectations that the DLA has, you're meeting the specs, that is the bagging and tagging. You're meeting your deadlines reliably, meaning like you're shipping on time. You don't want to ship late, because when you have late shipments, that disrupts the DLA supply chain. And do this repeatedly. You want to build trust. What that means is anytime that you deliver on a contract, the DLA has a scorecard. They literally grade you, and it's loaded into a system, a contracting database called SPARS, and they will know what type of contractor you are. So that helps to win more awards, right? Being consistently delivering on the DLA's expectations. And the DLA, as I was mentioning, they track past performance. So consistent performers are more likely to receive follow-on awards or be added to automated reorder systems. All right. So for those of you who are just winning DLA contracts, you'll start to realize that the DLA, they know about you, and you'll get emails from contract officers that will ask you to bid on certain types of contracts that fall within the federal supply class, because they have a history that you perform well with that FSC code. So if you're receiving some of those types of just one-off emails that are just come out of the blue and asking you to be a participant in a contracting activity, put a 1 in the chat if you've experienced some of that, because that's pretty cool. And when you get that, and that just all kind of bubbles up to that you're building trust within the DLA. All right. Now, before getting into number 2, guess what? I got some folks in the building that are throwing us some comments. I got to give you a round of applause. Brother Art Coleman, who is also a member of the channel. He says he's in the house as a brigadier general. So fantastic. Thank you for, do a little shout out, let the population know that, hey, the brigadier generals, you guys are out there in full effect and absorbing all this great content in order to get you guys empowered and inspired. And we got brother, can't pronounce the acronym there, or the alias, but he says happy Saturday to you as well. Thank you for the comments. Guys, I just love to get the comments that just gets the algorithm cooking. So feel free to drop drop those comments in. And especially for those of you, looks like we got 10 concurrent viewers, 4 likes. Get those likes up. Get those likes up. For those of you who are new to the content, and if you're a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment. Let me know the city and state that you're hailing from, because I always like to know kind of what part of the world you guys are hailing from. You know, it's pretty awesome to say, all right, we got people on the West Coast, we got the East Coast, North, South, globally. It's always great to know that. And then other folks that are watching the live stream, they may be someone in a neighborhood near you, because everything about being successful with the DLA is not only consistency, but it's a network. It's a network of vendors who are trying to get it right. They want to hit home runs when they get up to the plate. And sometimes just having a community of folks that are in a neighborhood near you is a way that you can kind of build your DLA vendor network. All right. So that's really, really important. So thank you for dropping those comments in the chat there. All right. Number two, as it relates to the overarching consistency of being successful with the DLA, you want to make sure that internally that you have fantastic quality control protocols in place that supports repeatability. All right. So you want to emphasize on having a documented process. You know, you don't want to have all this information just in your head. You want to, as you begin to come up with your repeatable systems internally, you want to document that, create like an SOP, standard operating procedures, literally like get a 3-ring binder and say, hey, this is how I bid on contracts, or this is how I bag and tag, or this is how we source different opportunities, or how we communicate with manufacturers and try to align yourself with vendors and become a partner or teaming partner and going after deal solicitations. And especially for those of you who are new to the DLA and you guys are the solopreneurs out there, having documented processes is very important, because as you begin to scale your business, you begin to bring interns in, or you begin to hire folks to come into your organization, that you're not scrambling and saying, wow, all right, now I got to figure out how to train this person, because if it's not documented, it's all in your head. It will die with you, right? And especially if you're building a company that you want to have something that you can will to, let's say, your children or other family members. God forbid that, the good Lord calls you home. You want to have some kind of standard operating procedure. A lot of corporations, I used to work for Boeing. They had libraries of SOPs. It was unbelievable how much documentation this company had as related to how things are done. Because as people retire, or people get fired, or people get hired, they needed to have a way to basically transfer that knowledge down. So having documented processes, I think, is important. You want to have quality assurance protocols in place. All of these are repeatable systems to avoid variation in product outcomes, that is in your deliverability as it relates to performing on government contracts, especially if you have like a fantastic opportunity to work with a vendor or an OEM where you own that NSN, like you've carved it out and you know that no one can really compete with you on that NSN, because the DLA, they buy consumable items, meaning they're not just buying it once and you never hear from them again. Well, you may have some NSNs that may have a shelf life of 10 years. It takes 10 years for it to wear out, but there's a lot of those opportunities out there where the DLA is buying them every quarter or every month whenever their inventory is exhausted. So they're going back out and you find new solicitations for that same exact NSN. So having some quality control and repeatability process in place, I think, will definitely benefit you as it relates to that mindset and positioning your company for success with DLA. Consistency in materials, tolerances, testing prevents rejections and costly returns. This is more kind of on the manufacturing level, but again, just having that documented process of this is how we build this item over and over again, because the DLA does not like a lot of variation. The warfighter likes to keep things very, very consistent. And so documentation is the key to that. All right, cool. Number three, documentation is part of consistency, meaning keeping accurate records, that is inspection reports. You guys know, for those of you who have gotten those DLA contracts that call for the Defense Contract Management Agency, yes, the DCMA, ooh, whenever you have the DCMA that's coming around and knocking on your door, and then they have to inspect those materials before you can ship those products to the designated depots. They got to sign the DD-250. Back in the day, they used to sign a physical copy of the DD-250. Now they're moving more to the electronic copies of the DD-250s. But having those accurate records makes the DCMA's job just that much easier. All right. So you having your inspection reports, working with your manufacturer, those COCs, those certificates of conformance, all that paper trail is very, very important because it's one, the federal government, two, it's required in your terms and conditions of your contract. So you want to make sure that you have a way of, get a file cabinet, get one of those steel chase file cabinets where you can, collect all that data and file it, having organization around how you're operating as a DLA contractor is paramount, because guys, we are working with the U.S. military. This is the upper echelon of just world dominance. And the United States government, our Department of Defense, man, they're bad mamma jamma. So you want to make sure that you are aligning yourself with this particular agency who strives for excellence, and you want to be part of that process of excellence, right? So these records, again, production steps, as you can see on screen there, material certifications, this all proves that you are consistently compliant. I'm telling you, when the DCMA comes into our office and then we open up that file cabinet and you open it up and they're like, man, these guys are on the ball. It's optics, having that optics, letting them know that, hey, you can trust that we are here to support the DLA at a very, very high level. You strive for excellence in all that you do. Highly recommend that. You'll see a lot of dividends on the back end. Trust me, the DLA girl, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm telling you, this is what it takes. All right, cool. And documentation makes it easier to scale. It makes it easier for audits, DCMA audits that may occur, and to defend your performance, just in case, everyone has an opinion, as they say, if armpits are like opinions, everybody has one. Some of them smell good, some of them smell bad. So you may get a DCMA rep that comes in there and, and they're just kind of giving you the runaround. But hey, if you got something that's documented, you can defend your performance and, you won't have that problem. All right. So it's all about documentation and all that good stuff. That's the very, very key to that. All right, cool. Number 4. Back into the manufacturing conversation. All right. And again, everything I'm talking about, it really links into that whole community, that ecosystem of custom manufacturing. All right. Small manufacturers win when they're predictable. And not only the manufacturer, but you as a manufacturer's rep, you're going to connect as a DLA vendor, connect by the hip with your small business manufacturer. Because if you understand their processes, I recommend, if you're working with the small business manufacturer and they're in a city near you, hey, book a flight, drive, go and knock on their door, shake hands, put skin to skin, do a tour of the facility, understand who this manufacturer is, make sure that they are operating at a very high level. We make it a mandate in order to put skin to skin with all of our key vendors that we work with. So we know exactly who they are, they know who we are, and we can kind of make sure that we're aligned, like Voltron, in order to go after those contracts and make sure we're in full compliance across the board. All right. So small manufacturers win when they're predictable. You don't have to be the biggest manufacturer. You don't have to be the Northrop Grumman. You don't have to be the Lockheed, the Boeings of the world, the BAE Systems of the world. The DLA loves small business manufacturers, small mom and pop, because a lot of times those bigger defense contractors, they don't do a lot of contract manufacturing. The contract manufacturing world falls within the lap of the small business manufacturers. And by the way, just a fun fact, there are over 600,000 registered small business manufacturers in the United States, right? There are roughly about 8,500 or so vendors who are actively registered to do business with the DLA through the internet bid board, through the DLA's internet bid board system. So that means there is a fantastic opportunity for you to go out there fishing and find manufacturers that can do and can build what the DLA is looking for, because a lot of times the bigger players, the AM Generals of the world and whatnot, they don't do the onesie twosies. Well, I never really recommend my training that you go out to the onesie twosie contracts unless the onesie twosies value $50,000 type contracts. But however, if you get the gist, those companies are looking for the bigger, their tooling processes and their setup processes are just so damn expensive that they just don't have the ability to just do the low hanging fruit. And that's where we come in, because there's a lot of opportunity for DLA vendors in that regard. All right, cool. So you don't have to be the biggest, but just be reliable. Reliability, consistency, mindset, the way that you structure your business, that's all part of that same, again, ecosystem in order for you to have success with the DLA. Many successful small business shops they become preferred suppliers, that is the authorized supplier list, because the DLA knows that they can deliver consistently, even on niche items, right? So what that means is if you guys are active DLA vendors and you're looking at solicitations and you're seeing the approved source is typically one or two vendors, those vendors have done a fantastic job over the years at proving reliability with the DLA. Hence, they're approved sources. But just because they're approved source doesn't mean that you can't get another manufacturer and get that manufacturer on the approved source list as well. And there's ways that you guys can do it. For those of you who are part of my members community, this is what we talk about over here in StreamYard. We talk about how you can position yourself and get on the qualified products list, that, you know, the QSL, the qualified supplier list, and the approved source list. There's ways that you can do it. It's not easy, but what is good for you and what's the benefit to you is never easy, but there is a way to do it. You just got to know how to do it. And positioning with yours truly, the DLA Guru, I can definitely give you some insight on how you can get that done if that's something that you're interested in, because there's a lot of opportunity to get to be a part of those national stock numbers for the approved sources, right? There, you know, trust me, I think the DLA wants it. They just need to have you follow the steps in order to be a part of it, because what if those approved vendors go out of business? Then the DLA is left, you know, with the pants down and their skirts up. So they want to have you actively pursue being a part of the approved source, right? Or the qualified supplier list. Number five. And before we get into number 5, looks like we got some comments coming in here. All right. You know, I love me some comments. I love some comments here. Oh, you know what? God dang it. I didn't have my charts up as I was talking, but you're hearing the words at the same time. So yeah, you hear the words. And so sometimes I kind of forget. I get so excited, forget to put my charts up there. But as you guys can see on screen, we're at number 5. But before getting into that, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to pop in. Hey, by the way, guys, if you guys are not seeing something on the screen, shoot me a comment. Hey, DLA Guru, we can't see the charts, because I'm seeing these comments float in here. And it looks like we got Brother Jesse, who's also a member of our channel. He's hailing from Chicago. Let's see, we got another comment coming in here. Terry Robinson, good morning. I love the content. Hoover, Alabama in the building. So we got Chicago, we got a little bit of the northern Midwest, and we got the South in the house. All right, cool. All right, and see, we got Brother Rich Really. He says, good afternoon. Thank you, Kiwi. As always, Gems. GovScape is out here expanding territory and avoiding the pain. Hashtag prayer Jabez, man. Fantastic. Awesome. And I see you got another comment there. Rich, really, I'll populate that in a second. Let me go ahead and get back to my presentation there. Yeah, man, I didn't look up and didn't see that I didn't have my charts up. But don't worry, I'm going to summarize all the charts at the very end. So if you guys are just chiming in, we're going to summarize all the bullet points today, so you didn't miss out on much of nothing. You know, you're hearing the words, and that's the biggest part of this. But number five, consistency leads to efficiency. All right, consistency leads to efficiency, meaning standardized processes reduce waste, they lower costs, and shorten lead times. All right, so again, just that paper trail, the repeatability. You know exactly how you're going to perform every single opportunity that comes your way as it relates to bidding those contracts, winning those contracts, delivering those contracts, having your standardized processes in place. Guys, we have so many SOPs here in our office. My team is like, another SOP? Yeah, another SOP. This is how we're going to do it. And we provide weekly staff meetings where we're kind of going through and making sure everyone is on the same page, right? But anyway, this type of these are qualities that make your bids more competitive. When everyone's on the same page, knowing, you know, what the margin needs to be, and knowing why the margin needs to be where it needs to be, whether it's because of the packaging materials or the number of items that we got to bag and tag, or how we have to move products to and fro. Maybe these are heavy items that we have to bring in, you know, a partner where we can deliver those motors or whatever it may be to a facility that has the fork trucks to lift it off the truck, right? And bring it on the dock. You need dock height, you know, warehousing capabilities and things of that nature. So knowing upfront what is all going to be a part of that DLA contracting activity is very, very important. And knowing it upfront, having a standardized process, that way you reduce waste, meaning you reduce having your pockets get hit negatively, right? So it's always good to have that as it relates to consistency. And again, it all links back to fewer mistakes, less rework, less cost. And then guess what? higher margins, so it's all about being as lean and nimble and efficient as possible. That's just only going to make you more profitable, not only working with the DLA, but just in government contracting in general. All right. So these are some of those key components that will help you stay successful and in the black and out of the red. All right. So number 6, tips for improving consistency. Great tips for improving consistency. You want to use checklists. And again, SOPs, standard operating procedures, for every single contract. You may be like, man, that's a lot of work, but you just do it once. Do it once. I mean, we got back in the day in the 90s, we didn't really have like the Google Sheets and Google Docs and all this good stuff. You can start to create your standard operating procedure electronically and have it be somewhere that's stored in the cloud so that when you bring on newcomers, hey, go to standard operating in this folder. Read what I've written, read what's been proven for our company to be successful, understand that, and making sure you're bringing in people that can read to comprehend. There's a lot of that. There's some brain power that goes behind being a successful DLA vendor. So, a lot of folks say, hey, do I have to have a college degree? Do I have to be an engineer like you, DLA guru? Do I have to have an MBA like you, DLA guru? No, you don't need any of that stuff. You basically just follow these types of steps. It's just, in my opinion, just common sense. But if you need some help on how to create these standard operating procedures and the checklists and things that we do in-house, join us as a Brigadier General or our Patreon community. Now, in order to be part of our Patreon community, you've had to have graduated from one of my illustrious training programs. But if you're like, hey, I don't need to, invest in the training programs, I think I got this, DLA guru, but I still want to have access to some of that great information. Hey, upgrade your subscription to the Brigadier General. Meet us over here in YouTube. We do it bi-monthly. This is how you get it done. Hey, I'm here to help. All right, cool. Another tip for improving consistency. You want to invest in staff training so everyone is on the same page. I just talked about that a couple of slides before. Yeah, hey, I'm very prepared today, right? Yeah, so yeah, it's staff training. We have staff meetings every single week. Every single week, we have a 1.5 hour staff meeting where we're talking. Everyone has an opportunity to talk about what they're working on. What's keeping them up at night. If they feel like they're getting overworked, if they're having issues with a vendor, we all are a team. I have written on the board here, it says teamwork divides the task and multiplies the success. That's here in my office. I have a big banner that's on the wall here. And then the team, when they come in and they grab a cup of coffee and they see this banner because it's all about teamwork and everybody be on the same page as part of the team. You can't win the Super Bowl if the quarterback is throwing to the strong safety and the free safety. He has to throw to the wide receivers, right? So that's how you win the Super Bowl. You got to operate as a team, be on the same page, meet in the huddle, get that play in, break, and get to getting and do your job as perfectly as you can in order to make sure you win the Super Bowl. And that's my thought on that. All right, cool. I'm sorry. So that was number 7. So for those of you who didn't see my charts, this is a summary. All right. So I got moved to the summary. Number 1, consistency builds trust. We talked about that earlier, making sure that you are bagging and tagging, delivering on the expectations that the DLA has when they award those contracts to you. So that's number 1. 2, you want to have quality control and repeatability, meaning have your processes documented. Get yourself a still chase file cabinet. We have a still chase that's fire retardant. So if this building burns down, the case is still going to be standing because, hey, you know what? Building burns down. You take all your standard operating procedures that you created over the years, and you take it to the next office, and you anchor and get back on the horse. Right. So that's how you do that. Make sure you protect that. You want to make sure you're documenting everything. Don't just keep it in your head. You want to put it on wax. All right. Documentation is key, especially if you're looking to scale your business. Number 4, small manufacturers win when they're repeatable and predictable, meaning that, hey, just because Boeing won it 20 years ago doesn't mean that you can't get in there and build that spare part that the DLA needs, whether it be DLA Aviation, DLA Landed Maritime, DLA True Support. These particular commands need small business manufacturers and vendors who understand what they need to convey that information to the small business manufacturing community so that, you can become an approved source and all that good stuff and go out to those DLA contracts that the big boys just don't look at. And keep this in mind, the DLA is very small business centric. So, if you guys know, if you're on DIBBS, you'll see a lot of set asides for small business only. You'll see women owned. You'll see veteran service disabled veteran owned small business set asides. You see hubs on set asides. This is the DLA. They're all about that. And approximately, I think about 70, maybe 80% of the solicitations fall within this realm. And of course, you're going to see the unrestricted ones. And that's when the big boys can kind of come in, because sometimes the big boys have the right tooling, the right machines. And the DLA says, hey, this is a critical application item, and we just can't risk having a part that fails prematurely because, you know, we got $100 million warplane that's up for grabs here. So we don't want to make sure anything goes wrong. So they will have that for some of the bigger players. But guess what, guys? You can still work with those bigger players. You know, there are techniques of ways you can knock on the door and go to trade shows and kiss babies and win friends and influence people, all that good stuff, in order to position yourself to work with bigger players as well. Number 5, consistency leads to efficiency. All right. So again, all this is about being efficient. Efficiency leads to, guess what? Increased margins, more money in your pocket than being spent on the rework and the waste because, man, I forgot to cross this T. I forgot to dot this I. All right. So very, very important there. And very, very high level, why all this is important, because being predictable in performance, in quality, and compliance is what separates short-term vendors. That means vendors that kind of come in and burn out versus long-term DLA partners. Our company has been supporting the DLA for the past 20 years because we understand what it means to be consistent. And so the DLA says, hey, you know, these guys been around for a while, so we'll continue to do work with National Trio Supply Company. And hey, you know what? I'm just trying to help you guys understand what it means so you can get the long legs, especially for like the young folks. Man, I got involved in working with the DLA in my 20s. You know, so think about that, guys. You know, I'm no longer 20. You know, don't let the gray hair fool you there. But you know, this is a customer that will be there as long as the U.S. military is protecting our borders and doing what they do best. The DLA will be a customer for you to support. So I highly recommend young people, as well as the Gen Xers, you know, like myself, get involved in figuring out how you can find a lane, because especially for the Gen Xers, if you guys are kind of, you know, moving towards your retirement, or you're doing things after you've been retired and you're just interested in, hey, trying your hand at this, think about, hey, I can build an organization that I will have something to leave for the generations to come behind me. This is what this opportunity is really all about, my friends. All right. So really important there. Now, you may say, okay, DLA Guru, consistency is good, repeatability and reliability, that's all good. But hey, you know, I'm still interested in seeing how I can get involved in doing more with my company and finding a lane for my company. I highly recommend you guys seek GovCon coaching and training. Highly recommend you do it. If you guys are seeing, you know, I think my channel has over 300 videos in here in the YouTube University space. All you do is kind of click and watch and get empowered and inspired. But hey, you want to connect with coaches. You want to be able to cam up and mic up and have a community of folks that you're working with, if not on a daily basis, or on a weekly basis, maybe a monthly basis, but just having access to folks who have kind of done it or who are doing it, I think is only going to improve your chances of success, consistency with doing business with the DLA. All right. And I say, hey, you know, for those of you just kind of on the fence, you're in the bleachers, you're not on the field, you're not a quarterback, wide receiver, offensive tackle, you know, you're not having that position, you know, for the fight and winning that game just yet, but you're just kind of spectating and you're rooting and you want to get out there and you're getting inspired. Hey, the best way of getting more connected is to join our DLA vendor network. And I recommend it's for free. Join us over on LinkedIn. We have a growing community that's over there. We're not doing a whole lot of activity as of yet. I kind of want to get a quorum, you know, just a bigger kind of focus of companies, professional companies that are just hell bent and focused on figuring out how we can work together as a community in support of the DLA. I recommend you find me over on LinkedIn. You can just go on LinkedIn. Just search at the DLA Guru and my profile pops up. Go ahead and request to follow me on LinkedIn. I'll take a look at your profile, and if I'm like, hey man, this person seems like, I kind of like their background. I see their pearly whites, I see their history, I see their education, I see kind of their activities in the professional LinkedIn community. Then I'll invite you over to our members only, by invite only DLA vendor network community. I think we're probably about 120 companies over there now. So highly recommend that you guys link with me, because it's just another way I can get to know you. You get to know me too. All right, highly recommend that. Now, for those of you who say, okay, DLA Guru, I'm cool with coaching, training, what do you offer? Well, hey guys, I have a 360-degree DLA contractor training program. It's broken up into 3 master classes. Within this 360-degree contracting training program, you will have access to my pre-award masterclass, which is entitled The 8 Steps to Successful Federal Supply Contract Bid Submissions to the DLA. Highly recommend you take a look at that, because it's going to teach you exactly how to position yourself to one, connect with the DLA, and then how to bid on contracts successfully, how to source products successfully to bid on contract with the DLA. You'll get all that in my pre-award masterclass. And then after you get a contract, then you have to know what to do. I offer number 2 that comes with the 360-degree training program. You'll get my post-award masterclass, which is the 4 steps to general post-award processes to successfully complete federal supply contracts with the DLA. You got to have to know how to bag and tag, how to ship, how to invoice, how to track the invoices, how to close those contracts out. And you'll get all that in this particular masterclass as well. Again, I call it my 360-degree training. You need 360 degrees worth of information in order to be, to have a confidence level of, hey, I can do this. Because a lot of folks get scared shitless, pardon my French, when it comes to doing business with the DOD, because you're thinking, man, tanks and bombs and bullets and soldiers. Hey, I don't want to mess up and find myself in some federal penitentiary somewhere. Well, guess what? These master classes are here to let you know that, hey, it can be done, and you do it this way, follow these steps, and you'll be on your way to being a successful vendor with the DLA. And last but not least, as a bonus, I offer my 4 steps to fast track enhanced joint certification program for controlled technical documents, which is also called the DEV. They changed the name recently. Same thing, stands for the DLA's Enhanced Validation System, which is the EJCP program. And that's whenever you're on DIBBS and you see that little button that says Tech Documents, and you click on it, and it's like, you don't have the EJCP. These are export controlled documents. You can't take a look at this information. So especially if you're working with small business manufacturers, as you guys know, when you reach out to manufacturers, the first thing they ask is, I need to see the drawings. I need to see the drawings. And so the this particular bonus course that's contained within a 360-degree training program will give you 4 steps on how you can get EJCP certified in 7 to 14 business days. All right. So there's, hey, the DLA Guru, I'm always adding value. That's what I do. I add value to you in order for you to be successful. And last but not least, I do offer a 90-day challenge. Yes, a 90-day challenge. You get 12 sessions every single week for 12 weeks, 90 days, where we'll be able to cam up, mic up on Zoom, not only with you, but within your organization. So if you have other folks that are in your organization, they can be a participant in this classroom setting. And it's really designed in order to help you scale your business, how to get the right, standard operating procedures, the right mindset around how you position yourself to work with manufacturers, to go after the larger fish. This is what comes in my 90-degree challenge, and I highly recommend it for those kind of, the seasoned. If you've got about 5 contracts under your belt, I think that the 90-day challenge will definitely benefit your company in more ways than one. All right, so that's what I offer there. Looks like we got some comments that are coming into the chat there. I got 1 Brigadier General in the building. Again, if you guys are just chiming in, looks like we got 14 concurrent viewers and 8 likes. Hey, I appreciate the likes and all that good stuff. See, Rich really, he had a comment that he posted up there. Rich really says, I had a few questions about DIBBS bidding. He says the number 1 portion that requests affirmative action compliance, how to properly handle. Well, with most companies do not have the affirmative action clauses. You can just say it's not applicable. That's not going to affect you getting an award. So if it's not applicable to like that particular contract opportunity and things like that, or if your organization doesn't have it, hey, just be transparent. Hey, it's not applicable, or we're not required to have that on file. And that's how you answer that question on DIBBS. And number 2, it says previous contracts and compliance reports. Again, how to properly comply. All right, that might be a little more in-depth question there. You know, a lot of times with those compliance reports, if this is a DCMA type question, because a lot of times when you're scheduling a DCMA inspection, the inspector will reach out to you and ask for those compliance reports up front because they want to make sure the paper trail is there. If before they actually schedule an appointment to come to your office, or if they're kind of like, hey, we'll find it. We'll ask those questions when we come on site, but a lot of that will be flowed down straight from the DCMA to you. They'll let you know exactly what they need from you as it relates to that. So hopefully that answers your question, brother Rich. Really, thank you again for joining us in the chat there. Looks like we got some other questions that are popping up here. We got brother Marcos. Brother Marcos says, good content, buddy. All right, cool. Greetings from Lima, Peru. All right. So we got Lima, Peru in the house. He says, won my first 2 contracts, now working on those. Well, hey, fantastic to you. I'm going to go ahead and send you a round of applause. And brother Marcos, I think we have communicated in the past, because I kind of remember it's in Lima, Peru. You're the only subscriber that I think has ever reached out to me hailing from Lima, Peru. So, hey, congratulations to you on that. And if you need any assistance, you know where to find me. Highly recommend you. I see that your name there doesn't have the little decal behind your name that you're not a member of the community. Highly recommend you consider upgrading your subscription to the Brigadier General, so you can come on over here in StreamYard and we can kind of talk a little bit about your contract and make sure you don't skin your knee or bump your head with those opportunities there. But hey, if you don't need us, hey, it's fine. You can get it done that way too. And we got brother John hailing from Atlanta, Georgia. So we got the South in the house. We got Alabama and Georgia in the house, and we got Chicago in the house. We got St. Louis in the house. All right, cool. So we got some folks kind of coming in there. And see, we got Rolanda. Rolanda is in the building. She says, good content. These are the items I wanted to discuss today on StreamYard. Okay, Rolanda is a Patreon member. All right, fantastic. Looks like, yeah, she just entered the building. She says the DLA Guru is giving out the blueprint to succeed. All right, thank you for that. That's awesome. Thank you for the support in the comments. The comments are just rolling in. Let's see here. We got another comment from Rich Really. Oh, he says, hey, Rolanda, you're always learning. I see you. All right, fantastic. Awesome there. You know, and let's see, any other comments here? Oh, guess what? We got, let's see here. Brother Marcus, he just says, yes, sir. We had a call some months ago. Okay, cool. I think I remember talking with you. Fantastic. Well, hey, man, I'm glad that conversation and the content that's out there has definitely pushed you in the right direction to win 2 contracts. I'm telling you guys, this is a doable business. For those of you who are like, man, is the DLA, can I win? Or when I'm bidding these contracts, I'm not winning. Guess what? Just keep bidding, bid, and bid often. All right. That's how you win these contracts. And so we got Dr. Wes Fisher in the building. Oh, Dr. Wes, wait a minute. I think you're a content creator. I think I've seen some of your videos on YouTube. You're up there with the ranks of the Kizzy Parks, man. Dr. West, man, thank you. Appreciate you chiming in, brother. Cleveland in the house. So, we got the South, we got the Midwest. Oh man, Dr. West, that's so cool, man, to see you in the chat there today, man. I really appreciate the engagement. Yeah, hey guys, take a look at Dr. Wes Fisher's videos, man. I watch your videos, brother. You're doing the thing. He's kind of more on the service side. So if you guys, again, I'm all about diversification. So the DLA is just, it's one customer of many customers within federal contracting. So, it's always good to diversify. The DLA focuses on products. A lot of those federal agencies that are on SAM are focused on services. And Dr. Wes Fisher, he talks a lot about training folks to get involved on the service side and how I think he has the middleman strategy for some of the content that I've seen, Dr. West. So, hey, man, I really, really appreciate the comment there. I got a second comment. He says, yes, sir. Love your content. Hey, man, I'm just trying to do what I can do. We're out here. We've been successful, and we just want to spread the love and share the message, because, man, if you give it away, it'll come back. And it'll come back tenfold to you. So this is what it's really all about, getting out here and telling folks that, hey, federal contracting, it is a lane. It's recession proof. The federal government they are a beast. They must feed. They must eat. They do not build anything. They must buy everything that they need to consume. So why not learn how to position yourself to support them and make some of those tax dollars. Instead of you paying tax, has some of that tax dollar, some of that tax revenue coming to you. All right. And this is how you can do it, by just connecting with us on YouTube, learning a little bit about what we're all about, man. So that's awesome, Dr. West. Appreciate that. And let's see, I guess we'll get ready to close this out here, because we got one Brigadier General and one Patreon member and StreamYard that I can see. So, hey guys, if you're interested in joining us over here, we'll be talking we'll be talking a lot today. Probably, see, I'm a little long-winded today because I got a little excited with everything and all the content and all the feedback there. But I typically try to go to about 1, but yeah, I can hang around to about 1:30 today. So about another hour and a half that we're going to be over here in StreamYard talking anything and everything related to the DLA. So if you're interested. And wait a minute. This little comment just came in. Brother Jesse, one of our Brigadier Generals, he said he just won a $39,000 award for 10 laptops. Think about that. 10 laptops for 40 grand. These are military grade laptops. And Brother Jesse, he has been part of our membership community, I think, for a couple of months now. And so, hey, man, he's just killing the game in the IT sector. So it's just so many different ways, guys, that you can find the lane, find the path to success in supporting the warfighter. Always think not what the warfighter can do for you, but think what you can do for the warfighter. And man, I'm telling you, the contracts will just keep coming and coming and coming and coming. All right, cool. So without any further ado, because my Brigadier Generals, they're starting to fill in. I got another one that just popped in the StreamYard there. I want to thank you guys. Thank you for watching today's live stream. I really appreciate it. I think we had possibly, about 15. No, we had 12 concurrent viewers and 10 likes. I almost had parity to the views and the likes, which is awesome. I love for you guys to show up, because you guys know I'm here for you. I'm showing up every other week live. And then as I find other content and stuff, I kind of drop gems out there for you to empower, inspire you for success. So I want to thank you for watching, for supporting the channel, for the likes and the views. It's always fantastic. And if you're interested and finding out more, you want to reach out to yours truly. As you can see on screen there, my email address is fed.contracting@nmsupply.com. Drop me an email. Let me know what your question or concern is, or how you may want to book a session with me or something of that nature. And I'll be sure to link back with you and invite you to learn a little bit more about how you can position your company for success with the DLA. So until we meet again, my friends, in the YouTube University world, I'll see you guys at the top.